Austintown Township meeting, June 13th, 2022 at 1 o'clock. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mrs. Adams? Here. Mrs. Kent? Here. Mrs. Cooper?
Here.
All right. Motion to appoint Michael Dockery, fiscal officer, pro tem, in the absence of Lori Wolf.
So moved.
Mr.
Second.
Santos?
Yes.
Mrs. Kent?
Yes.
Mrs. Deaver?
Yes.
All right, little introduction. We got Jim Henshaw as our senior center director. Chief Andy Frost, our fire chief. Chief Robert Cavalier for police. Darren Cabelli's on vacation. Michael Dockery sitting with many hats today as zoning fiscal officer, road superintendent, and administrator. To my right is Monica Devers, trustee. To my left is Robert Santos, trustee, and I'm Steve Kent, trustee. Mike, or motion to approve minutes of the regular meeting of May 23rd and special meeting June 7th.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Kent?
Yes.
Mrs. Deaver?
Yes.
Mr. Santos?
Yes.
All right, Mike, what you got for us?
Okay, a few things here. What do we got? First of all, let me comment on the fireworks law. My understanding is today the fire marshal is meeting to come up with hours for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, it looks like 10 or 11 possible days when you can have fireworks. And if you have three choices, local governments have three choices as far as whatever they come up with as far as the times for these days. You can do nothing, then your law becomes whatever they come up with for the times for those days, and they'll be allowed on all of those days. Or you can reject all days, ban it completely. Or your third option is to choose among the days and or make your own hours, different from what the fire marshal comes up with. Okay? So we'll be looking, if in fact they come out with their, what I call the default times, I'll provide you with that, and we'll be looking, I'll have it on the next agenda for you guys to make a decision on.
Okay, perfect.
Moving to the agenda. Under A1, I'm having you reject the bids that were opened up on the May 23rd meeting for resurfacing because they exceeded 10% of the engineer's estimate. Just so you know, this is not something that's just happening to us. I think we're all learning that there's going to be new prices out there. Dave Backlog from folks sent me this from the city of Youngstown. They had an engineer's estimate for a project at $495,000. They got two bids. One was 57% over the estimate. The other one was 98% over.
This goes with cost of gas, I'm assuming.
I think that's the big thing. I don't know if some of these companies, because maybe a lack of workers, their schedule's also filled up. It's probably a lot of that going on too, a little bit of both, yes. So obviously our new bid for resurfacing is out. Again, you have to advertise it for 3 weeks. That's the reason we got it out. We have the opening scheduled for 2 Fridays from now. You don't have to have a meeting to open bids. Okay? So we'll have the bids opened, I think it's 2 o'clock, 2 Fridays from now, whatever that is. And then next meeting, hopefully then, I'll be in a position to recommend the lowest and best bidder to you.
Will the county come out with different numbers as well, I mean, after looking at it, or are we just gonna go up with them?
No, our bid's separate from the county, just our bid, yeah. Oh, and this kind of ties into it. Country Green, there's no bids still. We didn't get any bids. The only 2 entities to take our bids were 2 reporting agencies. So There again, I'm not sure what we're gonna do there. It's probably something we have to look at as far as the engineer's estimate, as far as the road, and maybe bid it again. Obviously, it's gonna have to be increased based on the bids we get in on the road resurfacing. Now, this is a lot more of, it's not as involved, it's only 150 feet, but it's total removal of the road, putting in under drains, and then putting base and the top coat back on. So it's a little bit of a different project, but it's the same type of pricing that we're talking about.
That's that section with both sides of the road. It's not
Where the curbs have lifted up high and are really presenting a safety issue almost in some cases. So that's, something, again, we're gonna have to rebid, and the excess cost on both of these is gonna prevent us from probably delaying, it's probably gonna mean we're gonna have to delay other projects into next year.
Motion to reject all bids opened on the May 23rd, 2022 meeting, as all they exceeded 10% above engineer estimate, and open bids for the Country Green Road.
You don't need to deal with Country Green, I just mentioned that. And it will show in the minutes that there were no bids received, you don't need to do a motion on it.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Deaver?
Yes.
Mr. Santos?
Yes.
Mr. Camp?
Yeah. Chief Galore?
The only thing I wish to add is, we were awarded a $280,000 grant from the federal government, ARPS grant, I believe. Again, one from Road to Grant. We're one of 3 departments in Mahoney County to receive it on this round. I believe there's 6 rounds that the government's doing, and we were one of 3 departments this time in Mahoney County.
Great. Good.
Yeah, question on, I know the email I sent you in regards to turn the road over by the crossers that the park bike trail does, and the speeding, did anything?
Yeah, the email went out to the lieutenants on each turn, schedule officers down in those areas. When we get complaints like that, you usually tell the guys to go ahead and control the area, but now we're scheduling officers just for that specific purpose down there, so they're scheduling now.
With the residents' authorization, because I know a few of them contact me saying it's okay for you guys to park in the driveway.
Yes.
Are you guys allowed to do that? Do you need anything
Yeah, we
about that?
can, but usually we don't have to, but we can.
Okay.
We've done that before.
Okay. Thank you.
We did we respond to that Liberty issue that our guys were involved in that?
The shooting?
Yeah, the shooting.
I don't think we responded to that. We responded a couple weeks earlier up there. They had a large juvenile party. We responded to that call.
I saw a video of that shooting. That's insane. All right. Chief Ross?
Just that the new secretary will be starting on Monday, and again, she is filling the spot of Sue Cabot, who retired. And the ambulance that we put on for when we're in trouble and there's no ambulances, it's already run twice today. It's running at least 1 to 2 calls a day average. So again, things aren't getting better at the hospitals, getting ambulances back on the road, but I'm really thankful we have that going on.
Right.
So they're able to respond at least when things inside the vehicles, so.
And that's just for our residents, correct?
That's just our residents, yes.
I like the updates we're getting from the fire truck too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The trucks.
yeah, every Friday we should get them.
That's awesome.
Yep, that's all I have, thank you.
All right, Mike. So,
Zoning, you should have the list there, and we can just go off of that as far as approving it for the agenda. All of these are high graphs, except I point out there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the bottom 6. 14 Country Green. You also have exposed trash bags. 4287, the rodents in the rear yard, disregard that. That's just high grass, that's my mistake. Same with 520 Westgate Boulevard, the rat and mice problem, disregard. Okay, 5603 London Drive, there's debris. That's a debris one, not a high grass one. Okay, okay, Nantucket is high grass, and then 233 North Main Street, that's also, I know that to be high grass.
Motion. Accept zoning.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Santos?
Yes.
Mr. Kent?
Yes.
Mrs. Devers?
Yes.
Park Department, you want to take that, Mike, or, you know, anything's going?
I don't really know.
I know our splash pads opened up, I know that we had our first concert, went on, said it went well. Rick, what's that?
I would say something about that.
Yeah, we, the observation deck, our commander from the junior ROTC and Mike Vitas, you know, myself were out there, we started the demo on that. We were going, the wood should be here today, it's supposed to be delivered here today. Our guys are supposed to go out and start finishing the demo on it, and then we'll start rebuilding the observation deck out there. So that's part of the project. If anybody knows that we received the grant from the capital budget of $140,000. With that money, will go directly to the bandstand that's out at the park. We've been planning on rebuilding that. We were very lucky from the capital to receive that money. So we're excited on that as well. That's all I got. The farmer's market went well. I believe all three of us attended at certain times.
And
But
it's every Wednesday. The sheet that we pulled out was a mistake and they had put Monday. So the farmer's market is every Wednesday from 5:30 to 8:30. We apologize for that mistake, but it is on Wednesdays.
okay. Mr. Henshaw?
Okay, got a couple of things. We started some new programming called Games Galore. And what they're doing is they're rotating through all the board games that exist, you know, like Monopoly and Sorry and all those, see what they like, and they've been having a lot of fun with it. Our bunco group has been growing. That was a brand new thing we added about a month ago. We have some special programs coming up. Direction Home and OSHIP will be there on July 8th. Public Library is coming on July 12th, and the Center for Hearing Care on July 14th. And our trips have started back up. In fact, Jessica came over with me. She was picking up the van and taking it back, so she rode over with me to get the van. She's going to take it back. Or the bus, the van. We are still looking for a bus driver for our bus, so if there's any school bus drivers out there that are looking to pick up something during the summer, give me a contact. You have the right licenses, and therefore you can drive our bus. And you get to go see exciting places rather than go around in the same circle every day.
All right.
That's about it.
Awesome.
Did you get anybody to do any of the landscaping that we had an issue with and nobody called or anything?
You know, it's interesting. Text came in this morning, the company was spraying, and I asked him about it. He said, I'm a landscaper. And he said, I'm turning out business. I just can't do it. He said, everybody else is the same thing. Nobody, they're so busy, they can't do it this year.
How about a social worker? Have you heard anything on that? I know they were
No,
trying to get a social.
but we have had Bob Schaefer. Every day last week, he came to, right before bingo at 10 o'clock, and told everybody what he did, and it was, what his availability was, and things like that, and the programs he would, and it worked out pretty well, because a number of people have now gone back and talked to him since that. They did it every day last week, right before bingo, but it gets a different crowd. So, hopefully he'll take us some of the slack. The main issues we had with being a social worker was seeing what programs the seniors are available to get into, and he's very well versed in that, so we'll see how that works out.
Oh, the age thing. You said you were getting a lot of phone calls on that, and we discussed that when I was at the meeting at the senior center. And all of us have discussed it, and I feel that if they're calling and asking you, you should go ahead and approve that they can be 55 instead of 60.
Okay, now that will require a change of the bylaws, which I can handle, that's not a problem. It's got to go before the membership and they vote on whether it's okay, so. But if we have the trustees' blessings, that's one step in the right direction, so.
And I've spoken.
So I'll put the other wheels in motion when I go back to that.
And if you feel that there's enough people to call, that are calling on that, we feel that
This
that's.
seems to indicate there's been quite a few that have been doing that.
55
I mean, they're
sounds.
looking for something to do and they're bored, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're coming out, yeah.
They're calling the senior center at 55, wanting to know if they can come. We felt that they should be able to come.
And like, even though they had said at the one meeting, she said most of them are 55 and up. Nobody's under 55. But when I did a survey when I was doing the survey all over the country for different programs that they had, some of them were 50, most of them I think were probably the 55 plus range. So we're probably just, that's par for the course.
You have our blessing.
Mike again. You're up.
I don't have anything.
Fiscal officer. Good?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. Motion to accept May 2022 report submitted to the Board for review, fund status, revenue status, and appropriation status.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Kent?
Yes.
Ms. Stever?
Yes.
Mr. Santos?
Yes.
All right, we got one thing under the new business, whether request a hearing on notice of legislative authority to approve the transfer permit to Hyder LLC DBA Shell Wycliffe, 4200 Mahoning Avenue, Austintown Township, Youngstown, Ohio, 44515, permit number 3714200, permit class C1, C2 from 4200 Mahoning Avenue, LLC DBA Shell Wycliffe, 4200 Mahoning Avenue, Austintown Township, Youngstown, Ohio, 44515, permit number 2840577, permit class C1, C2. Chief.
No objection.
Motion?
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Deaver?
Yes.
Mr. Santos?
Yes.
Mr. Kent?
Yes. At this time, we got public response, if someone wants to do it on camera since we're running. You can come up to the podium, state your name and address. How are you?
All right. My name's Christine Hamlin. We moved to Austintown approximately 2 years ago, and we live on South Turner Road. And it's been an ongoing problem with the speeding. The police department, I heard they were increasing the patrols. We haven't really seen any increase. We've asked them to just park in our driveways to run radar because they sit at the fire station, which is at a stop sign. They're obviously not going to catch people. I had an incident last summer in August. We had gone with our boat to Lake Knowlton, came back, 10 o'clock at night, zero traffic. My husband pulled across the road, was backing in. This guy in a pickup truck came out of absolutely nowhere. Went off the side of the road, through my neighbor's corner of her driveway. I was in her driveway and I had to run. I almost was hit. And that was probably the third incident that past summer. We haven't had the boat out this year. I'm scared to death. We're gonna take the boat out and be backing into our driveway, and they don't slow down. The newest thing is Country Acres across from Clock Space. Now they're cutting through there because they were paving in Canfield on 46. They're cutting through down New Road and through Country Acres and don't stop at the stop sign. They just fly right out in there. My neighbor next to me's been there a long time. She said she's been after this for years. They were told that there's really no safe place to pull somebody over. And I think that's just an excuse. If you've got to follow them 2 miles to get them to a safe place to pull over, if they're speeding, you need to do it. We got kids on that road. We got school buses on that road. The only time that I've seen any increased presence has been at the off times, when the traffic's not heavy. I had given Mr. Santos a list of what the times that usually the traffic becomes heavy and speeding. The biggest thing during the day when school is the kids from the vocational school. They just fly.
Around
down the
2:30.
road. Yeah, we happened to be up that way when they were getting out of school one day, and it was, I don't know why Canfield has to do anything with them up there, because,
That's Mahoney County.
yeah, they're just flying out of there. So,
The
I would
times-
appreciate, yeah, the chief, if you could do something. I know you can't change the speed limit, that's got to do with the county, and 35 miles an hour is not a bad speed for that road, but nobody does 35 miles an hour, with the exception of me and probably some of my neighbors. But, you know, people pulling out of Fox Chase and stuff, they have a hard time getting out of there too.
Yeah, if I can, that's one of the areas we have, you know, been here for a long time. You know, everybody asks me what's the largest, most complaints or things you guys have, and speeding on the streets here is, on some of the streets, there's certain streets here where we always get complaints on. The reason they were sitting at the fire station, because we're getting complaints, nobody stopped before the four-way stop sign, so that's why they were there.
They don't stop at any of the stop signs.
The other issue is the times that, like 6 o'clock in the morning, you know, that you stayed in there, we could send the guys down there. But and it's not an excuse, but it's also a shift change, and that shift change, sometimes when you have 3 cars on a road, and if they're on calls come first. Sometimes in the afternoon, we've complaints from the school, from the vocational school, same thing. And I know it's not but we get pulled off of those because we're backed up on calls, we're answering other calls and stuff, not that the speed goes first, but what we'll do, I just sent out an e-bill. Robert got a hold of me because you sent me your copy. I sent it out to lieutenants and sergeants to get someone. And be honest, we will usually tell someone increase patrol down there. We're not sure if they're down there or not. So now we schedule them down there, and that's what we're going to try that. And I'll be honest with you, we'll hit it hard for a while, and everybody will slow down, and then we go away, and then, you know, eventually it comes back up again. So we got to keep hitting back down in there. But
Well, they put one of those signs last year, the blinking 35, that lasted about 2 days, and when they figured that they weren't gonna get a ticket,
right.
you know. So, and I know they have ones that have cameras on them, and I know you can't give them a ticket, but you could send Dad,
Yeah, and
you could send Dad a letter, you know. Junior's going 60 miles an hour in a 35 zone.
The issue also, I don't know who said that it's not safe to stop somebody down there. I've worked the road for a long time, that I never heard that before. I don't know where she heard that from or what.
That's what she was told.
But that's not an issue at all, stopping anybody on anywhere in that road there. You know, so I will address it all here.
I put my turn signal on 3 houses before my driveway. And in the last 2 weeks, I've almost got rear-ended 3 times. Pulling into my driveway, and it's like,
Yeah.
you know, my signal's on, somebody's on their phones, who knows what they're doing.
In reference to the sign, the radar sign down there that we put up, it's been out of commission for about 6 months now because someone cut the wires on it and sent it away to get fixed, and they can't get the circuit board for it because everything's supply chain or whatever. So
Since it's county maintained, is there any way to get help from the sheriff's department?
this sheriff, they only have 2 officers on patrol in the whole county, so they're not gonna.
I know how that is. I lived in Craig Beach, I was the mayor out there, and trying to get the sheriff out there was
But I
a
can,
trip, so.
we'll take care of it. We'll take care of it. I'll get somebody down.
And if someone ever gives, and this goes for anything, not just police-wise, or anything township-wise, if someone ever tells you this is why things aren't being done, it seems kind of abnormal, get the person's name, so we can definitely correct that issue, or maybe it could just be a misunderstanding
Well,
on their
this was
point.
years ago,
or-
they lived there a long time, so.
Well, if you ever hear that again from anyone, whether it's an officer or anything township related, give us that name, we'll try to take that name down, contact one of us 3, and we'll definitely make sure it gets fixed.
All right, okay, well, thank you.
Thanks. Bill?
My name is Bobby Yarnish, neighbors with Christine on South Turner Road. And I just want to back up everything that she had said. I've lived there since 2018, and since then, my son and I have tried to go for a walk on the bike trail. He's going to be 9 years old. We've almost got hit by a car down south, just from where we're at. And when I clear, but if I see somebody way far down, I'll walk out to get my mail, and these people don't slow down. Like, I'm jumping out of the way, they won't even move over. So, I mean, I don't wanna beat a dead horse, but definitely something needs to be done. And like she said, I will allow the police, if they wanted to sit in my driveway. The thing about where we live is it's down at the bottom of the crest. So people wouldn't see the police sitting in our driveways. They would definitely be nabbed before, they were able to slow down. So, but yeah, I just want to throw my 2 cents in. Thank you guys for everything you have been doing. And if we need to work with engineers or whatever, my couple thoughts would be, if they did a 4-way stop at Countryside and Fox Chase, or even just, I know they can't slow it down, but just definitely a 4-way stop or something like that. So that's what I have.
We appreciate it, thank you.
Thank you.
If I can address your 4-way stop, it's against the law in Ohio for us to set up 4-way stops to control speed.
Okay.
They won't be able to do that unless there's several accidents done or whatever, but this to control speed, we're not allowed.
They've had at least 1 fatality last year on our road, and possibly more.
And that
Last
intersection.
year,
Yeah, last year.
That
It was
intersection,
right down the street from our house.
I don't recall, I have to check that, but
that's another shortcut for the bike trail too.
Yeah.
So when we try to go, people from Countryside go that way to hop on there. There's just a lot of pedestrian action at that 4-way intersection.
Thanks. What?
So
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
You're good.
My name is John Taft, TFT, also called Tim. I live on Birchcrest Drive in Austintown, right off of the Inglewood Speedway, but I'm not about Inglewood. Our street is not very big. In fact, there's only 4 houses on the street, and it dead ends into 11. It is, it used to be Inglewood Drive. I think it's blown past street quality now, and it's now on a road quality, soon to become a trail. When I was here, I asked when they were going to resurface that street. I was told then that it was not on the schedule, but that dead-end streets are usually resurfaced every 26 years. I moved in, that's up on Inglewood Avenue in 1963, and it has been done once, and it was quite a while ago, the 26-year thing. The problem, the street is getting really deteriorated. We had that military-sized snowplow that goes down the street. In the spring, my neighbor across the street is somewhat handicapped, so in the spring I go over and take the chunks of asphalt off his yard so that he can get his yard moved in the summertime. There is no surface per se to the street. What it is now is a series of chunks of asphalt all the way down the end of the street. The plow is starting to take off the crown of the street. Most of the crown is gone, we're getting down to gravel. On either side of the street by the curb, where the curb comes down, the cement comes out, that's getting full of grass. And grass is starting to grow around the manhole covers in the street. I just like to find out if or when that street's going to be repaved. They've gone past on Inglewood numerous times and kind of waved goodbye to our street.
Great.
That's all I have, sir.
We can,
Is this not on the list for,
what's that?
is this on?
This is not on the list for this year, but
All right, we'll take a look at that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. Anybody else?
We're with the Disabled American Veterans here in Austintown. We meet the senior center. In April, well, first of all, I'm the treasurer and fundraising chairman, and I like to save as much money as I can. Someone delivers some mail right now. But anyhow,
I'm a member of the DAV, so that's why.
we got our newsletter out, so I figured I'd just drop one off. April 18th, we put an article in the paper. After being here at a meeting, we talked to JP White House, asking for donations for electric wheelchairs and scooters. I'm gonna tell you what, this community is something else. As of today, we have 14 electric wheelchairs, 6 of them already run. We wanted some scooters. We got 19. 9 run. We actually rode them in the parade.
Right.
We have 11 manual wheelchairs, 2 transport wheelchairs, but I still don't know what that is. 4 cedar walkers, 18 aluminum walkers, 4 shower chairs, 1 Neo walker, and we had $660 in cash for his batteries until this afternoon. We got another $50. So we're up to $710 just to help out there. Every wheelchair and scooter takes 2 batteries, and they're anywhere from $50 to whatever. I mean, we paid $100 a battery for wheelchairs. So far, since April, we've delivered. Go ahead. This isn't counting. Veteran Services down there has 3 wheelchairs that we don't have room for. There's 2 scooters in Elwood, VFW, and there's 2 scooters and 2 wheelchairs at the Shriners Club. We still got stuff coming in. Right before I came here today, I got another phone call. We got to pick up a wheelchair Wednesday. We've already delivered 3 electric wheelchairs, 3 scooters, 3 manual wheelchairs, and 2 seated walkers. And like I said, I don't know about the other organizations, but every time we've asked for help, this community's been great. We're out of handyman once a month, and that's where we make our money, is out there. It's crazy out there. Yeah, we just wanted to come back, let you guys know that we appreciate everything that the community's done. And
Awesome. We appreciate you guys for what you guys do. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Dale Beringer from 3009 and a half South Campfield Niles Road. Along with what Bob said, I want to thank Chief Frost for the fire truck for our flag retirement. Chief Cavalier, I don't know whether you had police officers in that area or not, but we sure had good presence. I don't know whether they were scheduled, if that was their routine or what, but they checked up on us about every half hour. So.
But the donuts were already gone.
We didn't have the physical turnout that I was hoping for, but we did end up disposing of 1,100 and some flags. Out of that 1,100 and some flags, and because it's part of our duty, we rescued roughly 20 flags. And just to bring up something, a lot of people don't know this, but you can take your flags to most dry cleaners. And I use Dutch's all the time. He's here in the community, and that's where I do my business. But an American flag, you can get dry cleaned for nothing. They will not charge you. And I've been taking, matter of fact, I have 2 flags in the car now, because out of the flags that we got, 2 of the flags were casket flags with 48 stars. And they were excellent. And by the time they got done cleaning them, and one of them had been flown, because you could tell where the grommets were, there was some rust on there. And one of those had, like I said, had been flown, and they even got the rust spots out. Now I got another 48 star flag that they just did. There's some stains on it, but the flag looks like new. So if you need your flags cleaned, take them down there. There's no charge. Now your township flag, your state flag, yes, they'll charge you for that. But your American flags, they will not charge you. And Chief, I'd like you to put a note down, because it was really nice having your guys out there, because we let them start the barrels.
And on the 6th, on the 6th of July, we're also going to have a retirement program at the farmer's market. And I'll tell you what, that truck set things off. It was really just great. And the guys were super. So I can't say enough for the support that we've gotten. And again, just like Bob said, the community has just been fantastic to us. I can't say enough for it. But like I said, it went good. We will not burn usable flags. It just isn't going to happen. And I'm also a commissioner on the Veterans Service Commission, which is where we have those wheelchairs at. And as soon as we get some room someplace, we'll get those out of there. But and I've got some cards for each one of the trustees. I've got emergency notice cards just in case an event gets a hold of you because of the crisis that we have with 22 suicides a day. I think this is important. So after the meeting, I'll see that you each get an emergency card.
Thank you very much.
You said that was July 6th?
Yes, July 6th.
Farmer's Market, what's
Yeah,
that?
and it'll be between 6:30 and 7. And your guys were early anyhow, so it really, they were fantastic.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anybody else? We'll move to the remarks section on the board.
I don't really have much to say. Tuesday's Flag Day, if anybody knows that. You probably have a flag in your yard, just let everybody know that. I already spoke about the senior center. I go there once a month, and I was there. We talked about the age thing. I don't have much to say today.
Understand. Mr. Sanders.
This, just gonna piggyback off of what Monica says, tomorrow is Flag Day. I know DEV had their flag burning not too long ago. The American Legion is holding their flag burning over at the Veterans Memorial off of Woodcliff tomorrow. So come on out, they can use volunteers to help out. It'll definitely be a long day. I think they got, I think it's like 20,000, believe it or not. I don't know where they get all these. But it's good to have the separate organizations hold their own because it's hard just for one to do. So if they come out, help out, show your support, even if it's for like 5, 10, 15 minutes, we would definitely appreciate it. And I mean, really, that's about it. I mean, to the DV, honestly, yeah, this community, its response to the veterans is above approach. It's a phenomenal, and I appreciate everything everybody does. So thank you.
All right, I've got a few things myself. I just want to thank the superintendent, Dave Capizzuto, and the faculty over at Austintown Fish for the outstanding job of graduation they did. I was absent last meeting because my son Connor graduated, but they did a phenomenal job. Everybody did a great job. You guys did a great job. The drone was cool. that was awesome. Congratulations to Jamal James. He placed 3rd place in shot put at state on the 4th of June, and all the other contestants there. And that's pretty much all I have. We did ask our township, due to the fact of rising costs of fuel coming up, we did ask them to start reducing, as possible, any extra movement of our vehicles, anything like that. So that's what we're doing. I know it's a strain on everybody else. I thank all you guys coming out. I mean, $5 a gallon is kind of rough on everybody. The cost of that is hindering on us as well. We're going to probably see that as well coming up in our audits coming up. But just so you know that we're trying to do whatever we can to reduce costs, for our taxpayers' money. And that's all I have. So if we can. What's that?
Everyone gets bicycles.
Right. I do want to say, Sam Farger's not here, and Dave Ewing, they did a phenomenal job doing the Memorial Day Parade, getting that organized. It was very important. I mean, everybody came out that was able to come out. The Austintown Fish helped us out there, and it was awesome. Last couple of years during COVID, we did it at the Memorial, but at Fish there was just an overabundance of people, which we appreciate. So at this time, motion to recess to executive session for the following: to consider appointment, employment, discipline, or compensation of public employees.
Second.
Mr. Santos?
Yes.
Mr. Kent?
Yes.
Mrs. Devers?
Yes.
in association with Austintown Local Schools and Austintown Township.